everything stops.
Let's take the ball, let's go through.
This is where it costs you.
Go!
Where the margin disappears and the lights shine a little brighter. Where legacies are forged.
Looks for Kincaid, and he's got him for the touchdown.
You either step up or step out.
Shoots right side, leaping catch, touchdown LA!
It's now or never. Divisional weekend starts now.
Folks, it is Divisional round weekend in Denver, Colorado, a city that's built above the noise. The air just a little thinner, but the moment is heavier than ever. And here at Mile High Stadium, folks, we've seen legends breathe deeply and challengers come up gasping. And in just about an hour, the season for two squads hangs in the balance. Well, the 6-seed Buffalo Bills looking to return to the AFC Championship game. That's when they face the top-seeded squad in the conference, the 14-3 Denver Broncos.
And there's Josh Allen. He's got 26 playoff touchdowns. He had 3 last week. Can Superman do it again this week in Denver?
And Bo Nix for the story. He has been in the fourth quarter, balling out all season long. He has shown he's ready for the moment. But here's the thing. The man on the other side, Josh Allen, has the same clutch gene. Only one will move on.
And hello, folks, and welcome to the NFL Today, presented by Jeep. I'm James Brown, here inside of Studio 43 with my colleagues, the Hall of Fame coach, of course, that would be Bill Cowher, the multi-talented Emmy Award-winning Nate Burleson. And, folks, it is our pleasure to welcome to the desk, my nephew. He is, we'll tell you about that later, 9-year NFL vet and analyst on NFL Today. Plus, that will be the handsome Kyle Long. And 14-year vet, 4-time Pro Bowler, and current Atlanta Falcons quarterback, Mr. Kirk Cousins.
What's up, baby?
All right, fellas. You guys want to greet them and however way you want to do it? Is that just it?
We've been hanging out all morning with these guys.
Oh, so
I saw
tired?
Nate, Coach. The only guy missing from Today Plus was you, JB.
Oh, so you're tired of them already.
Baby, we're ready to go, baby.
Hey, well then, Nate, you know what? We'll do that. As mentioned, the divisional round kicks off right here, Nate, on CBS and continues later tonight in Seattle. That's when Sam Darnold tries to shake off an oblique injury. The doctors here will explain that one. To lead the top-seeded Seahawks against the Brock Purdy-led 49ers on Fox. Then tomorrow on ABC, ESPN, someone's hot streak will end as Drake May and the Patriots, winners of 4 straight, host CJ Stroud and the Texans. Folks, they are looking for their 11th consecutive win. And tomorrow night in the Windy City, Matthew Stafford and the Rams continue their charge towards another Lombardi. That's when they face Caleb Williams and the Bears on NBC.
This is an incredible matchup, JB. You know, and a lot has been said about this Bills team and their health. You know, at the top of that list is Josh Allen. But here's the thing. His health has nothing to do with his heart. So my eyes will be on, of course, the X's and O's, but they'll also be on Josh Allen. Not how fast he runs or how hard he throws the ball, but it's going to be how he picks himself off the ground in between plays, how he pulls his team forward when the Broncos are pushing his team back. I feel like this game is going to be another game where Josh Allen has to decide, when will I be Superman and take over?
And you know what? And that will probably happen in the second half. And the second half is where the Denver Broncos have been at their best. You talk about altitude. It is a real thing. The point differential in the fourth quarter, they are the best in the National Football League at plus 54.
Yeah.
Plus 49 for the second half. Oh, yeah. On the other side, Josh Allen, the 15.9 points that Buffalo Bills average in the second half, best in the National Football League. 26 touchdowns, best in the National Football League in the second half of games. So you're talking about rubber meeting road. We're going to have that today. And the game ain't going to start till the second half. So if you have anything to do in the first half, feel free to do it. This game's going to start in the second half.
No. Stay right here and watch CBS.
Hey, and you know what? One storyline has been no Patrick Mahomes, no Joe Burrow, all these guys. But let's not forget that Josh Allen had to go on the road to Jacksonville, play the #1 rush defense in the National Football League, and beat them. Now he's going on the road to Denver. It reminds me of that 2023 Patrick Mahomes 2 road games before he gets an opportunity to go win the big thing. Impressive. They had to run the football in that run. They're going to have to run the football today against Denver.
A lot of talk about Josh Allen, and rightfully so. But I think the key for Denver is to keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands.
There you go.
Bo Nix is a playmaker. He was drafted 12th overall for a reason, but I don't think we need to ask him to do that today. I think Sean Payton knows he needs to run the football, Bills have the #1 pass defense. Let's not play into that. Let's control the clock, time of possession in our favor, keep 17 for the Bills on the sideline. I think that's the game plan that helps Denver win this game.
Are we ready to go? Look at him. What I'm talking about, Kirk. Golly, Kirk, boy, they are ready to rock and roll. All right, hey, folks, time now for the game report presented by Verizon. And for more on this matchup, let's check in with our two-time Emmy Award-winning colleague. That would be Tracy Wolfson. Hello, Tracy.
Hello, JB. After last year's loss to the Bills, Sean Payton's message to his team was, we need to find a way to play this game at home. Well, mission accomplished. They have the home crowd today. They have 13 days of rest, and they have that playoff experience under their belt, which Bo Nix told us this week is huge. He also said, though, they need to start fast and match the intensity of the Bills, something they didn't do last year. As for Josh Allen and the Bills, they're coming off a very physical game against Jacksonville, in which Josh Allen was banged up, whether it was the head or the hand or the knee or even that right foot injury he's been dealing with. But what he told us this week is, if everything hurts, nothing hurts. Typical Josh Allen, but they will not have Gabe Davis or Tyrell Shavers, both of those wide receivers, season-ending knee injuries last week. They will not have running back Ty Johnson. So others are going to have to step up against this Denver defense. JB?
The always insightful Tracy Wolfson. Tracy, thanks so much. Knock him alive today. All right, folks, a big thank you to Paul Giamatti for kicking off Divisional Weekend with that read at the top of the show. Folks, he plays the villain in the new series Star Trek Starfleet Academy, now streaming on Paramount+. And the NFL Today continues right after this.
Coming up on the divisional round edition of the NFL Today, Josh Allen has been Superman for the Bills in recent weeks. Will he continue to soar, or will the Broncos be his kryptonite?
Here we go.
Sean Payton and Bo Nix helped lead Denver to one of the best regular seasons in franchise history. And today, they begin their march towards an AFC championship. The Seahawks and 49ers split their 2 regular season matchups this year. And tonight, it's win or go home for a spot in the NFC championship. We'll go live to Seattle for a preview. All that and more when the NFL Today continues on CBS. The NFL Today on CBS is presented by Jeep. There's only one.
Time now for a pregame HQ delivered by Domino's.
Get ready.
Every play, whistle to whistle.
It's all Allen.
Allen looking for the end zone, and he's in.
Bo throws the ball to the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
Allen steps up, fires,
Touchdown, Buffalo.
It's going to be a tall task for anyone to come into Denver with this defense.
Game, set, match. Buffalo's going to win.
Like them or not, the #1 seed is the Denver Broncos.
Okay, going back to my boxing days, let's take a look at the tail of the tape between these two quarterbacks this season, folks. Josh Allen, he's been throwing with pinpoint precision, completing 70% of his passes while finding the end zone 42 times. While on the other hand, Bo Nix, he's been airing it out, averaging 231 passing yards per game. And for more on this game, let's bring in the one and only Tony Romo. Tony, I'm glad to see you. I didn't realize that Kyle and Kurt had already been talking to you for an hour and a half, so let me give you a big smile to welcome you to the show. Look here, having spent time with Sean Payton early in your career, where do you think he's actually helped Bo Nix the most in year 2?
I think it's the football acumen part. You learn at a faster rate when a coach teaches you how to think. Why are we checking it down here? Versus cover 2, we're actually trying to go to the flat, so move the corner back with your eyes and throw underneath. Most young quarterbacks want to get the ball down the field, so they're going to look underneath. But don't do that. Just simply take what the defense gives you. It's why Denver led the league basically in rack yardage, run after catch, which will be a key component today if that works.
Well, they certainly have a very mature quarterback there in Bo Nix. Look here, from your perspective, what are the keys for Josh Allen and the Bills' offense against this excellent Denver defense?
We don't want to go against their strength right on the back end. The one thing that Buffalo does have is size on them, just bigger people. So I told it in my notes, I already said, go big, go bigger, and go bigger than that. So expect them to bring in an extra offensive lineman, play some of the tight ends who are great in the run game, and let Cook go out there and have a day-to-day, and just rely on Josh at the end. Let the game come to you, but let's not come out right away trying to attack these corners on the outside.
And Josh certainly knows how to handle it at the end, as well as you do handling the game for Spears. Hey, Tony, thank you so very much for your insight. Knock him alive on the call today.
Thank you, guys.
All right, back here with my guys. Hey, Bill, I guess you really can't underestimate how significant this matchup, this game is today.
Well, the playoffs in itself, I think the one thing I learned just on through the years is the magnitude of the game, right? There's finality in what you're talking about when you're doing. And with that comes pressure. But I used to say pressure is a privilege. And I think the biggest thing as you go into playoff games like this is you play loose, you play confident. I used to say you're going to have regrets as you go through and you sit back and reflect, regrets for things you did and regrets for things you didn't do. I say go for it. I think you got to learn to trust. Trust with a game plan you have coming in. Trust the guy next to you, but more importantly, like that guy right there you're looking at, trust yourself and go for it and have no second thoughts. Trust the preparation that you put into this, Kirk, because you know what? You only have one chance at this. And that is the most important thing.
Right. Well, that's the head coach messaging I want to hear when I'm about to start a playoff game.
Right.
Let me play free. Let me play loose. Let me trust my teammates, my coaches. Let's just go enjoy this moment. But there is a tension that exists. Pro football in general has a tension, but the playoffs ratchets it up several notches. And I do think that when you look back on my own personal career of 14 years, 5 seasons, I missed the playoffs by 1 game. And that 1 game came down to 1 play. So when you play out these seasons and you realize any 1 play can make the difference, and then you get to a moment like this in the playoffs and you realize 1 play can be the difference in a chance at a world championship or going home, that's something the Buffalo Bills have experienced multiple years. Denver, with Bo Nix and some younger players, are new to this. I'd be interested to see how they handle that moment and how Buffalo handles that moment today.
I'm really glad that you brought up the 1 play thing, because my dad played football, and most of the learning that I did as a football player was from him. And he always told me, you never know when that extra effort, that 1 play will come along that can swing the course of a football game. And Coach, you talked about regrets. I remember in the one time I got to go to the playoffs, it wasn't the double doink I remembered. It was the 3rd and 1 that I didn't get the defensive tackle to the second level. I didn't free up our running back. I didn't give our quarterback enough time. Do not allow yourself to have those regrets at the end of this game.
Yeah, and when you think about these 2 quarterbacks, we're all talking about it, right? The pressure that these Bills feel. Josh Allen understands what's at stake. He's an MVP. He's been, just like Kirk said, knocking on the door every single year. September, we say the Bills will have a shot at the Super Bowl. McDermott understands the same thing. But then what happens when you continually get close and you fail, and you fail, and you fail? Sometimes things implode from within. I don't think that will happen with this organization. It seems like they are stout. It seems like even the fan base, they have the back of their team. But they have to know that they need to win right now. Let's just call it what it is. This is not a shot at me. This is not a shot at Jaguars or Trevor Lawrence. This is not a shot at Bo Nix and the Broncos. But we do not see Patrick Mahomes. We do not have Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson is sitting at home watching the game just like us. If there is a time for the Bills to make a run that we've been expecting them to make for 5 years, this is it. And that type of pressure can either be a privilege or it can crumble you.
And I think when you look at the Buffalo Bills, Sean McDermott and Josh Allen, I think they are thriving in this position that they have right now. And I think of Bo Nix, he talks about, yes, I played last year in the playoffs. I went to Buffalo. I lost. But you have no experience to win, so you don't know really how it feels to finish a game.
Right.
Josh Allen understands in the playoffs how to finish a game. We talked about the second half of these things, right? And you know the fourth quarter becomes very, very defining, and no one has done it any better this year than Josh Allen.
Josh Allen has been on that plane ride home from Arrowhead, and he's driven home from that tough loss in Buffalo after a playoff loss. I think he's getting on the plane going to Denver yesterday saying, like Michael Jordan did about 20 years ago, saying, I packed for 1 bag, one bag for 1 game. Yeah. He said, guys, we are not coming home with a loss. We're not doing it. And the way he played last week, limping off the field and coming back out and making the plays, I think you're going to see some heroic effort like you're talking about in the fourth quarter today.
And you just hope he doesn't try to do too much. If Josh Allen is guilty of one thing, he tries to do too much, and then it leads to, like, the multiple errors.
A mistake. Yeah.
Punting's okay.
You know what? He is a bionic man, but he's hurting in about 13 different places, but you guys say it doesn't make any difference.
No.
Yeah, you're right about that. All right, each week on Nickelodeon, join me and my guy, Young Dylan, as we turn the highlights into slime lights and find out who joins Caleb Williams in taking home the MVP. All that and more on NFL Slime Time at 5 Eastern and Thursdays on Paramount+. And there is Courtland Sutton, 2025 Pro Bowl selection. He has had one hell of a season. He's also been Bo Nix's favorite target when the offense needs a big play.
Make some noise! Next Saturday, UFC is only on Paramount Plus. Don't miss undefeated Patty the Batty Pimblett versus the unstoppable Justin the Highlight Gaethje. Mayhem takes center stage.
Anyone got any questions?
All night long. Stream every fight free with your Paramount Plus subscription.
Are you not entertained?
It all goes down next Saturday, only on Paramount Plus.
Next Saturday, for the first time ever, UFC's biggest night is live on Paramount Plus, folks, as Justin Gaethje and Patty Pimblett headline a star-studded card. Stream every fight free with your Paramount Plus subscription.
We gotta get our mojo going when we get back out there.
Touchdown! What a strike by Cousins!
Kirk looks to the end zone. Yes! Touchdown!
Kirk's gonna loop it. Touchdown, Atlanta. My goodness.
My swag is no swag.
When the beat drops, that's when it really gets going.
You like that? You like that? Hey, you like that? You like that?
Hey, there we go. Let's go. That's the alter ego in you, man. There's something inside you.
JB, I don't think I'll ever escape those 3 words.
Wait. While we got you here, can we hear it one time? You like that?
Hey! Hey, folks, we all know the Superman puts on the cape. That's when people need him the most, and that's exactly what Josh Allen does in the second half of games, folks. This season, check it out. The MVP has scored 26 second-half touchdowns, and the Bills are averaging nearly 16 points per game in that span.
Don't play the time. Have each other's back.
He's a beast with a capital
That's
B.
Josh Allen at his best.
Come on, more.
No one's gonna get him.
Incredible!
Down, Buffalo.
Unbelievable! Josh Allen!
How is he not your MVP?
All right, let's take a look at the game plan presented by State Farm. Coach is the guy who's going to explain the partnership between Josh Allen and the Bills' offensive coordinator, Mr.
Joe Brady. And you know what? You like that? You like that, Kirk? You'll like this.
Yeah.
Watch this right here. This is going to be a little Josh Allen and Joe Brady. You talk about the quick game, the screen game, and then the variations off of that. You can see the fake block and the 3 levels that they push right here on the left sideline. The pinpoint accuracy of this to Kincaid right there. Nice little variation with Joe Brady off the quick game and the thing that Shaquille Clear. And then Khalil Shakir. And then you have him right here. Kirk, you've seen this. A guy coming right down the barrel, untouched, free rusher. Where are you going to throw this? 30 yards down the field, inside part of the half. You got trust him to be there. Brandon Cooks is there. Great throw. And then how about this? The tush, push, carry. You're going to tell you right here. Watch this, Josh. Let me pick him up. Is that my thing? I trust my guards. I trust my line. And let me take this for another 10 yards. That is going to be Josh Allen when he gets in the red zone. His legs will be a big part of that. You can see that, and you kind of liked a lot of what you just saw right there.
That play won the game. I mean, the fact that he was able to keep his legs turning, that the team knew that we can get him in the end zone here, that was the game-winning play. His ability to make that corner squat and then go over the top, he's feeling it. And he knows that you don't make that throw unless you're hot.
And he sits right in that pocket, and you did the same thing. I've ever seen you. How many times you sat there and you just have to trust the fact you step up, he's coming in your face, and you put it right you needed to put through down the field.
I can't make a miss, so I just have to stand and deliver. He can make a miss sometimes.
And that's one of his strengths that we don't talk about. Yeah. And like Coach said, you're one of the best in the business. The reason why receivers are successful when they play with you, because you trust that they are going to be exactly where they need to be. They also trust you that you're going to sit in that pocket just enough time to get that ball out. And Josh does that. And not only does he do it when he steps up in the pocket, but when he escapes the pocket, as explosive as he can be running the ball, his helmet is always upfield, understanding, sure, I can gain 6 yards and get this first down. But if I extend this play just a couple of more seconds, I might be able to go for 60 and we can score a touchdown.
You know what? The reason they're able to score so many touchdowns, particularly late in the game, is that offensive line, okay? Yeah. Let's give some flowers to my guy, Aaron Cromer, the offensive line coach.
Coach.
Continuity, toughness, technique, you see it in droves with the Buffalo Bills, and they're going to have to lean on that. And Josh Allen, if he's banged up, nobody knows it more than him. He's going to rely on his hogs up front.
And I think when you look on the other side of it, too, with Bo Nix, I think the biggest thing that Sean Payton will do in this game is get him involved in the game early. You said this earlier about this, Kirk. I think some design runs, take some of the pressure on, get him outside, Roger, get him involved in the game. The biggest biggest challenge, I think, for him is going to be the Buffalo Bills do a great job of disguising coverages. So if they don't get out of the huddle quickly, they get up there, he's going to have to read those coverages while after the ball is snapped, which is going to be a big, big challenge for a young quarterback.
And you know what helps a young quarterback? Talking to absolute legends at that position who did it before. What about this guy? I wonder what Peyton Manning said to Bo Nix about this moment, because he's been there and done that at a high level. All right, I was able to catch up with this fella, Deion Dawkins, a.k.a. the Snowman, and it fits. He's got the energy of a blizzard. He's cooler than a polar plunge, and he plays with ice in his veins.
All right, fans, get ready for the 2026 NFL Pro Bowl games powered by Verizon. Watch the league's top stars face off in an AFC versus NFC flag football showdown. Catch all the action on ESPN and Disney XD Tuesday, February 3rd, that at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Deion Dawkins just wrapped up his 5th consecutive Pro Bowl selection. Folks, earlier today, our Nate tapped in with the star left tackle.
The Snowman, what's up, baby? How are you doing?
Man, what's good, man? You already know the vibes. I hear you.
All right, now let's talk about last week. You guys went on the road.
Yeah.
You won in Jacksonville. It wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty. It was gritty. It was physical. What did you learn about your squad after that wild card win?
What I've learned is that we're supposed to be where we're supposed to be. Heard from a nice birdie, man, and the birdie said, "Be where your feet are." And when he said that, I was like, man, we are definitely where our feet are, and we are where we are supposed to be. You know, like all year, but you hear about, oh, the Bills receivers and this and that, a running game, that's all they have, and blah, 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 blah. And we're like, all right, we played against the best run defense, and we pulled out a win. So I don't want to take it with too much grain of salt, but we have a good football team, and I like where the Buffalo Bills are at.
And speaking of what people are saying about your squad, you guys have dealt with injuries all season long. And guys have stepped up. One guy goes down, another one steps up and make plays. What do you say to a backup that is all of a sudden in the lineup with the playoffs and a Super Bowl run on the line?
You know, I wish that I could jump in and think a lot on that, Nate, but realistically, it's kill or be killed, man. And when it comes down to it, we have to put all of our faith and all of our energy into our squad fully. And supporting Josh, supporting Cook, supporting Keon, supporting the O-line and the defense, and supporting McDermott. And honestly, for a guy like me, supporting Joe Brady and whatever he calls. And just executing whatever the play is, and we should be okay at the end of the day.
One more question, and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
You mentioned Josh. Let's talk about him. We've all seen it.
Scally.
The game tightens up. The moment gets heavy. And we can feel that Clark Kent is looking for a phone booth to turn into Superman. Now, you're in the huddle with him. You know that your QB is about to take over the game. What is he saying to you guys, or what do you see in him that is outside of him just calling the play?
Oh, man, the killer instinct, man. Like, when you're a gladiator and you have been in gladiator situations and war situations, and when you look at a quarterback, when you hear a quarterback's tone, when you hear a quarterback's voice, when you hear exactly what he's saying, when you can hear the confidence in his voice, all of the worries go away. But the good thing about it is we also tell Josh that, look, it's not all on you, bro. It's not all on you. And he understands that it's not all on him. And the beautiful thing is we've taken that weight off of his shoulders, that it's not all on Josh, right? It's not all on him. It's on the entire team, right? Everybody has to do their 1 1/11th. And the best start to being able to do that is what? Being where your feet are.
Exactly. That's how you bring it full circle. I know Bills Mafia is cheering for you, and so are we. Go out there and do your thing. Good luck, man.
Love, bro. You already know the vibes, baby.
Yeah. Big thank you to my guy, Deion, the Snowman. I appreciate it. Snowman. Yeah. So the Snowman is like, he's built for the temperatures in Buffalo. You know what I mean? When the weather gets cold, he gets colder. You know what I'm saying, JB?
You know what else he's built for?
Huh?
pounding that rock. He's built for a couple things: duo, inside zone, pass protection on third down. And he talks about Josh Allen, the confidence he has. Part of that is because he knows the guys that are blocking for him are great, Kurt.
Yeah. No doubt. Sean McVay used to say that competitive greatness is defined as being at your best when your best is required. Today, Deion Dawkins' best is going to be required. The guys he's blocking, the front he's facing, he's going to have to be at his absolute best.
You know, those two outside rushers, Benito and Cooper, they can put a lot of pressure on a quarterback. But the one thing that can take it away has been the running game. So I think that they need to focus on the inside running game, not the perimeter running game. Inside, because those wide nines are there, puts a lot of pressure on Zach Allen and those inside defensive tackles.
You guys are so descriptive now. Kyle, you describe Deion as what?
You know, obviously he's a guy that's a freak show. I was a guard. He's a tackle. He can do things that, you know, God didn't intend for me. But the way he's built, he can move people. He can get in space. They do so many things with Deion Dawkins, and I just can't wait to see what they're going to do with him today.
Kyle Long. All right, folks. Hey, switching gears to the NFC. Tomorrow night, divisional round weekend concludes. That's when the Rams visit the Bears. But first, we've got some exciting action tonight with the heavyweight brawl between two longtime rivals. That's when the 49ers and the Seahawks go to battle.
The Niners in Seattle, this is going to be a bloodbath.
This team fights, man. We don't blink. Like our odds against anybody that's in these playoffs.
Touchdown, 49ers! Touchdown, Seahawks! The 49ers refuse to go down.
You're NFC West champion!
Do you believe in this team?
49ers at Seahawks.
Can't wait! Can't wait!
And for more on that Niners-Seahawks battle, let's head out to Seattle and check in with our own Evan Washburn. Hello, Evan.
Hey, JB. Greetings from gorgeous Seattle. It's relatively quiet right now, but in about 4 hours, this place is going to be rocking because the 12s get to host a playoff game with full capacity for the first time in 9 years. This time around, they've got Sam Darnold leading the way. Now, he's hoping to exercise some playoff demons, but he's also just hoping to be able to play and be effective because Thursday early in practice, he suffered an oblique injury. He's been held out since. He's listed as questionable. He's adamant he's going to play, but how he holds up is worth monitoring. But the reality is, whoever is quarterbacking the Seahawks, they're going to lean on the defense that is #1 in the NFL. They call themselves the dark side. They're at or near the top of the league in all the important statistical categories. The most relevant number, Week 18, holding this Niners offense to a season-low 3 points. So the Niners know what they need to do. They were effective last week against an elite Eagles defense, and it starts with their quarterback, Brock Purdy, who's never lost here in Seattle, but he does have a mixed bag against a Mike McDonald-led defense. JB?
All right, Evan, thank you so much. You know what? It should be a great game in Seattle, but now turning our attention to a very intriguing matchup in the Windy City. That's when Kyle's Bears host the Rams.
Yeah, it's going to be electric. I'll actually be there for the first time since retiring as a Bear. I'll get to go to a game. It is going to be about 2 degrees. The place is going to register on the Richter scale. Last week was the loudest it's ever been at Soldier Field. It'll get louder this week for the Chicago Bears. They feel like a team of destiny, right? It just feels like you might shut the game off in the third quarter and say, maybe I'll go to bed early tonight. You turn the news on at 8 a.m. and you're watching Nate Burleson talk about the survival of the Bears. Look, if Caleb Williams can have 4 quarters of clean football, this Bears team can beat anybody.
I think clean football is going to be needed by the L.A. Rams and Matthew Stafford, who has a penchant now for throwing interceptions. And this Chicago Bear defense is very good. But this Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford is a lethal combination. You look at these two, what they've been able to do throughout the time they've been together, and particularly this even playoff run and stretch run that they've been on right now. And Kyron Williams can run the ball as well. So the Chicago defense, they're going to have to get some takeaways in this game, in my opinion, to come away with this win.
I love it when Nate plays Professor at 8 a.m. on the CBS Mornings program as well, too, Kyle. All right, folks. Here, meanwhile, in the AFC, Buffalo or Denver will be awaiting the winner of tomorrow afternoon's matchup. That's between the Texans and the Patriots. Nate Hefner, that's who Klaus names you now with the jacket. Go ahead.
Okay, now he's about to get real spicy in with this take. Hey, listen, let me pull a little bit from what Kyle and Coach said. You mentioned destiny. You also mentioned clean football. How about this? For Houston, this could be a defensive destiny. People are saying this is one of the greatest ever. We're talking up there with the 85 Bears, 2000 Ravens, 70, the mid-70s Steelers, 02 Buccaneers, and that Seattle Seahawks team with the Legion of Boom. Could they have a run in the postseason just like them? They're going to have to do it in Foxborough. It's going to be tough. And then mentioning clean, if C.J. Stroud can play clean football and then that defense can play like they've been playing, I'm not sure anybody can beat them.
I love Houston's defense, but I do believe New England is a tough out, partly because they're at home, but I really like the coaching staff. Mike Vrabel has shown playoff success in the past. He went in there to a team that was down and out last year and immediately flipped them because of his leadership. Josh McDaniels does a phenomenal job as an offensive coordinator. I've talked to linemen there. They love playing for him and the protections and the way he attacks defenses. So I believe they're not going to be flashy, but I believe they're filled with substance, and you're going to see it in the way they play.
All righty, folks, we're going to step aside, back with more as we do come back, folks. We've got the big one coming your way, of course. That will be, you know what, I like to have one of those in the stall, Kyle. You think I can have one of those? All right, folks.
The NFL Today is sponsored by FanDuel. Play your game. Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above. And by Jeep. There's only one.
Since the announcement of a new privately funded stadium at Burnham Yard in the fall, the Broncos have been building connections by engaging the community through town halls and other outreach.
They've got a great team, all three phases.
That wrecking crew of a Denver defense. This Broncos offense, they've got a little bit of magic to them.
Very well-coached team, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Payton, and he's done it at a high level.
One play at a time. Have each other's back.
He does so many things well. We realize how big he is and physical he is. He's hard to bring down. He's powerful. It's been a while since I've seen someone gain 7 yards on a sneak.
Allen's got it. Not to be denied. He's still going. Look at this. Wow.
The simple truth, we're going to need everyone. It's a great team, #1 seed. You know, if we don't make the adjustments this week and the improvements we need to make, it's going to be really hard for us to get a win out there. I mean, they're just that good. So we've got a hill to climb in front of us here.
Sean McDermott and Sean Payton, folks, have only faced off twice as head coaches, but they are not strangers. McDermott was the defensive coordinator in Carolina for 5 seasons. That's when Payton was coaching for the Saints. Their records against each other since then, 2011, 6-6. All right, folks, and speaking of coaches, it's been a pretty emotional week in Pittsburgh as Mike Tomlin has stepped down as the head coach of the Steelers. The Super Bowl champion, Tomlin is tied for the most regular season wins in franchise history. And he never had a losing season in his 19 years in Pittsburgh, which, by the way, is the second longest head coaching tenure, that with the team in this millennium, sitting between Bill Belichick and John Harbaugh. So the question is, will we ever see this type of longevity in the NFL, especially given the way the game is dealt with in all phases today, Bill?
You know, JB, I think we can, and I think it depends on either the organization, as we saw with John Harbaugh, they decide they wanted to move on. And John Harbaugh today has got a coach, has now officially become the head coach of the New York Giants. Or it's a decision of the coach, as it was with Mike Tomlin. Mike had a conversation with Art Rooney at the end of the season, indicated he wanted to spend more time with his family, and I get that. I stepped away from family. Mike Tomlin has been phenomenal in Pittsburgh for 19 years. His record speaks for itself. But sometimes, JB, the noise from the outside, while we handle it from the inside as coaches, it can get to your family as well. And I think for him to take a year off would be great, whether he's in TV or anything else. But the one thing about being a head coach in the National Football League, it's addictive. And if he wants to come back because he misses the arena, which a lot of people come back, they do, he may come back a year from now because we've seen coaches take a 1-year sabbatical. Sean Payton, who's playing today, took a 1-year sabbatical. Mike Vrabel took a 1-year sabbatical, and they find themselves in the playoffs today. I never went back. I didn't need to go back into the arena, but I understand when that trial is because it is an addictive job that you have.
Yeah, I respect everything you said, but I don't think we'll see it again. You know, the Ravens and the Steelers, those organizations, they're outliers. They want to stick by one coach. Nowadays, people are too impatient. Fan bases are too impatient. Even these organizations are too impatient. I'll remix a quote that I heard on one of my favorite movies, which is The Dark Knight. Listen, you either retire a hero or you coach long enough to become a villain. And that's what happened in these situations. These guys won a Super Bowl, so that fan base, they got a taste of success. They got to the top of the mountain, and then every single year they're waiting. They're waiting. They're waiting. A decade goes by, and all of a sudden those whispers, people saying, we need a new coach, they become louder and louder, and then they run a good coach out of the building. I do know this, to Coach's point. wherever they go, we hear Harbaugh, the Giants, and whether Tomlin sits out or he goes back into coaching, the teams that they go to will be successful right away.
The only thing I'll say to that, Nate, is Sean McVay is in the Rams. Kyle Shanahan is with the San Francisco 49ers. Sean McDermott with Buffalo. They've been there for 9 years.
That's true.
And they got 9 wins right now with Shanahan, and McVay got 9 wins. Sean McDermott got 8 playoff wins. So these guys are now
McVay got a Super Bowl, though, Coach.
I know.
That buys you some time.
It buys you time. Winning early is very important for these young coaches coming in. I will say this, dude. You win early, you buy yourself having one of those bad seasons. But the longer you stay in it, the more success that you have, at some point you'll become a victim of that success unless the organization sees that value and they disrupt and take away the noise from the outside.
If it was a smart decision by ownership at the beginning in terms of who they hired, they'll hang in. I'll never forget the Rooneys when they hired Coach Chuck Noll. His first season, he was what?
1-13.
And the press was asking, when are you going to get rid of him? And they said,
we got the right man.
They knew what they were doing, and there it is. Hey, folks, the anticipation is building inside Mile High Stadium as we inch closer to kickoff, and the guys will make their picks. That's when NFL Today continues after this.
The NFL Today on CBS is presented by Jeep. There's only one.
Hey, and Nate is not even there cheering him on. 76,000 fans all know that home field advantage different in Denver. The Broncos went 7-1 at home this season. They boast a 6-2 all-time playoff record in this stadium. All right, folks, turn playoff mode on FanDuel, where customers are getting boosts and other rewards to use on same-game parlays and more throughout the playoffs. Fellas, the question is your picks for today's game.
I think Denver's going to try to run the football for, as Kirk said, to keep Josh Allen off the field. I look for R.J. Harvey to hit 80 total yards because sometimes those swing passes are just an extension of the run game.
I got something good for you. It's one or the other. So a couple of my favorite targets, Cortland Sutton or Dalton Kincaid for a touchdown. So you can get with this or you can get with that.
And if these guys are going to be bearing down on Josh Allen, the ball's got to be out in the hands of someone he trusts. Khalil Shakir, 6 or more receptions
in
this game.
All right, folks, hey. We get them all in?
Yeah, we got them all in. Yeah, we got them all in.
We are just a few minutes away from kickoff in Denver, so I have to get my guys' predictions in terms of what it will be, Bills or the Broncos.
You know what? This is a tough one. My head says it's Denver because they're at home. But you know what? I just watched Josh Allen overcome everything in front of him. I see 24-23 Buffalo. Matt Prater goes back to Denver, where he also played, and kicks a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, Denver has been unbelievable all season long. I know they're well-rested and ready to go. Yeah. But I just can't pull myself to bet against the Bills. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills right now. They're going to win this one 27-23.
My heart says Buffalo because of the journey they've been on for many years now with Coach McDermott and the system he's built and Josh Allen, all they've been through. But my head says Denver. I just trust Coach Payton playing in Denver. That defense, that pass rush, I've got the Broncos 24-21.
I got 28-24 the Denver Broncos. Both lines of scrimmage are dominant for the Denver Broncos.
I knew you'd go there.
That stuff matters, Coach.
All about the trenches, huh?
Well, let's start with Kyle. Yep. Final thoughts as we go around the horn.
My final thoughts are whichever quarterback has the ball last is going to probably be the guy that wins the football game, and I think Bo Nix is ready for this moment.
The lead changes in the fourth quarter last week were the most they've ever had in playoff history, I believe. So I'm expecting this game, as Coach Cowher started this segment saying, it comes down to the fourth quarter, but it will go back and forth. I like the Broncos running out the clock at the end.
Yeah, my focus will be on these quarterbacks, how they decide to escape the pocket, and when they decide. We know that Josh Allen takes over games late and uses his legs. Will he do that in the first quarter and second quarter to set the tone? And then Bo Nix, will he be a little gun-shy and not leave the pocket? I love it when he uses his athleticism to put defenses on their heels. So I'm paying attention to how these two quarterbacks use their legs.
And I think I look at Josh Allen, you look at that defense and talking about the Denver defense and how do you attack it? I think there's a couple ways. The quick game, that takes away the rush.
Yep.
No huddle defense. I wouldn't be afraid to do that in the inside game, the inside run game with James Cook, because James Cook is one of those guys. Those perimeter guys, Cooper and Benito, they like to get out wide.
They like to get
so
wide.
I'm standing right in that.
Gash them right in
guards,
between,
right in the middle right now. But I wouldn't be afraid to go no huddle right now with Josh Allen.
I don't think I've asked this question, but I listen to you guys because you pick apart everything. You talked about a player having skinny ankles versus big ankles. What difference does that make?
Well, some people are meant to leave the earth, JB, and some people are supposed to stay down on it. If you got cankles, you're an earth guy. If you got skinny ankles, you're in the sky.
There you have it. There's a takeaway for the game. Hey, folks, we'll see you back here at halftime.
Kyle was a gankle. Kyle was a gankle.